So there's been a lot of discussion going on in regards to Final Fantasy 16 and its lack of diversity. The director of the game pretty much came out and said that the reason why there isn't that much diversity in terms of the Final Fantasy 16 characters is because he's focusing more of historical accuracy, and he understands that yes, the game does feature fantasy-like stuff, but he's also incorporating, more historical accurate, anchors, I suppose, to his story. And a lot of people obviously are pushing back on this, saying that historical realism is not an excuse to devoid the game of diversity. But I'm gonna approach this with a different angle than most people don't really realize. And it's a very simple one too, because I'm sure if I say it, you guys will realize what I'm saying. The creator of a story has every right to choose what type of characters will show up in his game. It's high time that people need to accept that not everyone wants to include everybody in their story. People have a vision, and yes, sometimes it sucks that when your favorite franchise or brand doesn't include you in their story, but that's just life. And I'm speaking this from an African person perspective. If a game doesn't have diversity, you have a choice. You can either choose not to purchase it or choose to be like, no, that's fine. I read the guy's explanation as to why he did what he did, and essentially to me it just came off as, listen, he has a vision, he had a rule that he made for his universe, and he's not willing to break that rule regardless of whether or not there's no diversity. Second thing, which is one of the things that I say not me anyways, but you guys are also at fault. Whenever there's a black character on screen, whether they're male or female, you guys have a way of being oversensitive if that black guy is portrayed as a villain, if that black guy dies too early, if that black person this and that. There's a sensitivity that he actually pointed out that it's actually very true. People tend to jump to racial situations very quickly when it comes to a black character in any fiction. And he wants to avoid that because he doesn't know if he ends up putting, let's say, an Arab person as a villain, would people see this as an act of racism? Or if he puts a black person as a, hero, if this is going to be seen as a whatever. So he's just sitting to his agenda, which is he's written the story, he's using medieval Europe. Yes, I know you can point out to one or two black people, one or two Arabs in Europe, but from his perspective, he has an agenda, he has a goal, he has a mission that he wants to put out, and he's sticking to it. That's what storytellers are all about. If you don't like his story, tell your own. That's the point. Create